All right, guys, so market is hovering here at around the 4-hour order block, which I do think we still need to break. If you've been here throughout the week or you follow the content, you know, I do think that we need to break above here. Yesterday was major news with the unemployment claims surprisingly coming in lower than expectation and previous, yet there is an 87% probability still for a rate cut in December. We're going to talk about all this. I'm going to give you my thoughts on the market for today and for the weekend. If you don't know who I am, my name is 𝗏𝗏, and I do these daily updates, very short, very concise. I've been here since 2016. All I do here on the channel is just give you my thoughts on how I navigate the market in a very short form every single morning, 5 to 10 minutes. Then I have a community. You can find this in the link in the description. It is free to join. And what I do here as well is just to update you throughout the day. That sounds good. Subscribe to the channel. Check out the daily updates. Look back for reference if you want to see. And just stick around for the ride. Again, very important, the way I structure these, come back every day, because some of these stuff, if you're new, might be a little bit difficult to understand at first, but please come back another 2, 3, 4, 5 days and you will get the hang of it, and then you can just simply follow through with us. All right, so let's jump in here. Very, very important. So yesterday I explained here on the update, I said that you must be a fool. I took this very clickbaity thing, but you must be a fool to believe that this this pump is sustainable so early. Sorry about this. And the reason why I do believe that is because this is the 4-hour open. Nothing really changed. Yes, this does look good. This W formation coming into the 4-hour OB. We can see a push here, but there are two things that I want you to consider. One is very important. Not financial advice. I forgot this. Nothing I say is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Investing and trading cryptocurrencies is risky. Always do your own research, and this is for entertainment purposes only. So what I do believe should happen is that the market has to come back above into the premium zone on the daily leg. Markets usually, most of the time, retrace 50% at least before they reject. And this is what we've seen multiple times. I mean, if you look at this here, if you look at just the most recent example, you can just look at this level from here to the bottom. It comes back 50, it rejects. And the same thing here. It comes back 50, then rejects. So like you can see it on the lower time frame, you can see it on the higher time frame. Markets always it retraces at least 50%. So what I'm expecting here is at least 50% up here at 3.2 trillion mark around here, but then possibly even a push. This would be a 10% push on the total, possibly 15% on your major coins into this daily order block. But I do believe that the market is going to reject there. The reason I also left a voice note in the community yesterday, you might want to go and listen to this. This is the last post, by the way. And the reason why I left that, I said that I do believe that even if anything happens, even if the market starts pumping, I'm not worried because I'm simply going to get back in. And the biggest reason why I'm not concerned at all is this confirmation here. Now, a lot of people don't really pay attention to this, or they think it's not that relevant, but I think it's super important. This is the unemployment claims in the United States yesterday, coming in at 191,000 instead of the 219,000 or 218,000 that they've been expecting. What does this mean? This means that while unemployment is decreasing, there are less people filing for unemployment. There are more people employing. The Federal Reserve is cutting into an environment, easing the monetary policy, stopping quantitative tightening into a booming economy. That is a problem. So if you look at this is just a very good indication. There is still 87% probability for a cut. The reason why I think that is going to happen and they are going to cut is because Jerome Powell, who's the Fed chair, can't back down now. Like they started cutting, they stopped QT, they did the 13 billion repo. Again, I talked about this on the other day on the show. They can't stop now, so he has to cut. But that is leading into a catastrophic outcome. So ultimately, I still do believe that the stock market has to correct. We can look at the stock market in a second. The stock market has to correct, and that means that anything that happens here on crypto is just going to be a dead cat bounce, a relief rally in a bear market rally, if you want to call that. I see the highest level that the total market cap goes is about 357, and that would mean about 110,000 on Bitcoin. So this is the level that I'm looking at max. This is like the absolute max. I think if we get there, that's gonna be a very, very good short. I am going to short it when and if we get there. But ultimately, I would rather just wait for the 50% to happen. 50% happened there, so I would rather just wait for the 50% around 100K mark, which is also a very strong level. This is also a very, very strong level, and it's also a psychological level on Bitcoin. So that's what I'm looking for. What am I doing now? Now, because I don't want to miss the bottom. You know, a lot of people say like, oh, you're gonna miss the bottom and whatever. I do not want to miss the bottom. One, I do have the buts. I'm gonna talk about it in a second. But also, if I see a close above the 4-hour high, which is less likely at this stage, honestly. Like I think there is a higher possibility of the market wicking through and then rejecting than climbing up from here. But anyway, as a trader, you have to be ready to all scenarios. If I see a close above the 3.17 trillion on the 4-hour chart and the retrace, I am going to long this. Because until there is a 4-hour or hourly rejection, at least an hourly rejection, this can still keep climbing in a great market structure. So I am going to get in on scalp positions. Maybe next week, I would imagine that in the weekend we can see this happen. Let's pray that it doesn't close below and then it doesn't start falling further down. We'll see what happens, but I am going to take long positions when the time comes. It's very important, and I also posted this in the community. It's very, very important. I said first time not sitting in a position overnight feels so freaking good. Bang the longs, bang the shorts, passive 2026 bull market bots are printing. Life is great. Guys, the goal is not to trade. The goal is not to trade. The goal is to make money. You can make money with 3 trades a month, 2 trades a month, 5 trades a year. Do not overtrade, because this is the time when you chop yourself up, and this is the time when you actually got completely destroyed for no freaking reason. I'm sitting here. I don't have open positions on manual trading. I'm simply waiting for this to play out. So this is the TLDR here. Very important. Couple of things. One is that I do have my bots open. Okay, I told you about these bots. I actually have a full video. I'm going to put it up here and on the end screen, and it's in the description how I bought the dip. The reason why I have these bots is because when I deployed these bots, I explained to you in that video. It's a short video why I did it, how I did it. I deployed 10% back of my spot capital, and all these bots are up in profit because they accumulate, and they might be down in profit at some point, but it's fine. Why? Because that's what they do. They accumulate on the range. These have extreme ranges down to $50,000 Bitcoin, which I don't think is going to get hit. So these are relatively safe. Obviously, it's not as safe as spot, but much, much safer than just a leverage trade that we take here. Okay, so you can copy these settings if you want. There's a whole explanation video. I'm going to put on the end screen. You can also find it in the description. Second very important thing, I wanted to look at the S&P. So if you look at the S&P, I do believe the S&P had a great recovery. Obviously, on the news of Trump injecting 20 trillion into the economy, and on the whole rate cut narrative, and on the 13 billion repo. But that does not mean, in my opinion, that the stock market does not have to correct. I think the stock market has to correct, and that would look something like this. So I would want to see at least a 10-15% correction on the stock market down here to the 6,000 level on the S&P, and then let's see the Nasdaq. Yeah, at least down here at about 521 on the Nasdaq, okay? So around the 50% lag on the daily here is what I would be looking at. I think that has to happen before Q2 2026, before the market can go up. I gave you a lot of reasoning throughout the week and months and whatever, so I'm not going to go into details, but there is 7 trillion sitting on the sideline. That money is not going to get into the market unless there is a correction, in my opinion. So that has to happen. That's the second thing. And the third thing I wanted to say is that still there is an incredible ledger discount going on. So I told you, I see that a lot of you ordered, which is amazing. I am not being paid by Ledger, but we do have an affiliate link. If you use our link, I appreciate it. I have been using Ledger since 2017. I do have this Nano Ledger S that you can't even get anymore. How do I do this? You can't even get anymore. And I do have the Ledger X. They have 50% discount on this device. It's an incredible, and it's very cheap now. Like at 50% discount is basically a no-brainer. I do have the Stacks, which is the high quality device. You can set like a wallpaper to it and whatnot. But I do believe one of the best, so now you can get $70 in Bitcoin if you buy Ledger Flex. I do have a Ledger Flex as well. But if you ask me, now it makes sense to buy the Ledger Flex because they have $70 back in Bitcoin, which basically means that you're getting it at like 30-40% discount, which is amazing. But also, I really like the Nano Gen 5, okay? So this is this device. Let me just show you. This is this device. I really, really, really like this device. Again, I think for value for money now, it makes sense to get the Ledger Flex, but this is the Nano Gen 5. Let me just put this in front of my face. I really enjoy this divide. It's value for a buck. I do believe this is one of the best choices you can have if you don't want to spend that much on the flex. But now with the $70 in Bitcoin, basically comes out of the same price. So go and check that out. There's a link in the description. Again, if you use our affiliate link to support the channel, I appreciate that. Guys, truly appreciate you. Please sit on your hands, okay? Sit on your hands. There's no rush. There's no nothing. Check out the buzz. This is going to be the video how I deploy it and how you can as well. There are links in the description that you can check. Please do not get chopped up. This is the time. Patience, friends. Patience. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.